These things are becoming so. I'm not in that. Yeah, probably perk at the end of the day, but I didn't even know. I'm so clueless. I didn't know about it until I got here today. But Andrew, you tweet one thing, brother. I'm coming at you. I'm telling you right now, right at you.
Doc, I hate to even go into this direction, but I know you've waited all year to get everybody healthy in practice. You do, and then now Paul is down with an injury. Is this a little frustrating?
Yeah, but it is what it is. You know, when he went down, I started thinking about Allen Iverson immediately. Like, why do we practice? You know, but it's a mild hamstring injury, and he'll be back. You know, we're just gonna keep evaluating him, and he'll be back soon, I think. So, you know, it is what it is at this point.
So was that the first day of practice, second day of practice?
Actually, don't know. Was it? Yeah, first day.
Okay.
Was that the first day? Yeah. Since today is Friday. Yes.
Did he come out of the game fine?
Yeah, he was fine. Yeah.
So what happened at the practice?
Just guarding. You know, nothing violent, which you knew it wasn't bad, but he felt something, and he walked over to me and said, "I think I feel something in my hamstring." And being a doctor, I said, "I think you should go see the trainer." Yeah. Yeah, I diagnosed him immediately. Yeah. You guys don't have to talk. I know you've been out of practice, for 4 days.
I guess, Doc, with the 4 days off, as you kind of read the air heading into tip-off, what do you think that did for your team, and what do you think it'll do for the energy coming in?
I don't know the answer, but we needed it. It's funny. Sometimes you need a practice and you'll have one, but you just don't have enough time to have a good one because it's usually after a game, and so even though you practice, you can't get a lot out of it. This was really a strange and great. We actually had 2 days off to get rest, and then we could practice. And the practices were very spirited. They were hard. Because we've had so many injuries and so many different guys, we still didn't put anything new, which is a little frustrating. But we just had to go back and review all the stuff that we forgot to do, that we haven't been doing lately. And so in that way, I thought, as far as timing, I don't know if we could have had a practice at a better time than what we just had it.
Doc, you guys obviously played this team before Steph went down with his hand
Yeah.
injury. Is it at all strange to see this team that was sort of like a staple of a contender in the league now to be on the other end of that spectrum? And
Well, I've been in the league a long time, and I'm more used to them being like this. No, I'm just joking. No. I mean, it is odd, honestly, because they've been good for a long time, and honestly, even though we knew Clay was going to be out, even though most of us thought he would be back by the end of this year, everyone, at least in our job, thought they'd still be really good. And then when Steph goes down, it's going to be one of those years. It's funny watching Steve. I think he's having a great time. I think he's seeing. He's had an opportunity to watch some of the guys so next year when they get that high draft pick and Clay and Steph back, he's going to know some of these guys on his team in a way that he probably wouldn't have, and that'll make them that much better next year. So, but it is different for sure.
You guys just gotten everyone back before these practices, and you guys have a stretch where I think it's like 5 games with no back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Is it kind of annoying that these injuries keep coming up and you can't get the roster complete?
Yeah, but I don't stay on it. Like, it's annoying when you find out. When PG went out, I wasn't sure what it was. When he told me his hamstring, I just thought, go get it checked. I actually thought I'd see him the next day, and then I realized it was a real hamstring. And you get disappointed for about 5 minutes, and then you get over it. This happens to teams, and it shouldn't be an excuse not to keep getting better. And does it hurt us in ways that probably you can't see? Yeah, it does, but we'll figure it out. I have no doubt about that.
Doc, along the lines where you're talking about with Steve, when you first got here, it was championship expectations, and that team kind of broke up, and there was sort of a I don't know if like a gap year or something
Yeah.
where
We
there's
had
a
2 gap
reset.
years.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
reset time. Was that refreshing those years?
No, I would rather have the championship expectations, if you want me to be honest, and I'm sure Steve would tell you the same. But you want to have the group too, like what Steve had, and I would say what I had in Boston would be a better example. He not only had a team with championship expectations, he had a team he enjoyed coaching, and a team that enjoyed each other. Those are usually the teams that win the title, and so that's fun either way. I think you always want enjoyable groups, and that's important. I've had a couple years where we've had some rebuilding teams that didn't enjoy each other. That's no fun, But I've had some teams where you're rebuilding where they do enjoy each other and play for each other and probably know they're not going to win a title, but they also know every night they're going to just be a pain in the butt for the other team. And that is enjoyable as well. So it's just, you change your goals.
I was going to say, how hard is that when you're so hardwired to winning and championships as
Well,
being so
we're
goals
also
to move?
we're also realistic people. You are. Like, you look at your team and you know what you have. Sometimes you don't. Like last year, I didn't know we were going to be as good as we were, but I thought we were going to be difficult to play. And so, but I think most coaches are pretty realistic to what they have.
After you guys beat the Warriors in the beginning of the season, multiple guys said in the locker room post game that it was a motivating kind of factor that they had just lost to them in April, 6 months earlier in the playoffs. Do you think that's still a motivating factor when they see the Warriors?
I didn't ask them, but I wouldn't know that. Listen. I think whenever you see them, especially now, you think of them as last year and the year before and they're going to be back at it. So. I don't think anyone wants to give the Warriors anything because they know this is just one of those years. They'll be back, and they'll be back soon. And when you can beat them, you should beat them.
When Paul hurt himself initially, you'd said maybe it was a back issue too. Is that indeed the case? Is it back?
No, I think it's hamstring.
Okay. And then what's the plan for him this weekend in Denver on Sunday? Is he going to
I have no idea. I think he may go, on the trip.
You think he may go on the trip?
Yeah, but I don't know that. I haven't even asked, so I wouldn't know that. But Dennis would know. Just throw him under the bus. Dennis typically knows more.
He usually tells us to ask you.
Yeah, I know.
Are you guys at all more cautious with like a Paul and a Kawhi than with a Derek Walton or something like that? Or is it just everybody?
No, that would be bad. No, so no, if Derek had walked over to me and said, Coach, my hamstring is hurting, I would have just told him that we're not going to guarantee his contract for the rest of the year. No, of course you do the same thing with everybody. You really do, because they all are, listen, these are all pros. So,
Doc, you're coming off, like you said, the long rest, and you're playing a Warriors team that absolutely plays hard all the time.
Yeah.
How hard is it to come off so much rest coming into a team like this?
It doesn't matter who you're playing. You have all this time off, so that it is something you are always concerned with, because this is even if we're playing, whoever, the Lakers tonight or Denver tonight or whoever, after 4 days, you really don't know what you're going to see. I thought we went pretty hard 2 days, so, you try to do your best you can to stay in game form. But 4 days off is a lot, when the other teams you're playing aren't having that. All-Star break, everybody's even. You've had a lot of days off. Both teams come out. I don't know who we played last year, but it might have been the worst first half of basketball in NBA history. That's what it felt like. I thought both teams had like 20 turns. But this is different. It's just us. They've been playing, so we'll see how it turns out. All right, guys. I have tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go with LSU or on Monday, just so you know that, because I won't see you. In football, I have Kansas City for sure. I have Baltimore for sure, and then everything else is up for grabs. Is that pretty good? Pretty good. No, the Packers will not win. They just can't. You know how I feel about them. You've got not the Packers. Too close.